Okay, so I'm going to just go step by step through the first assignment for Yearbook, where you will be creating a 2-page spread with some pictures and photos about your summer. So first thing I'm going to do is log in to yearbookavenue.ca, .jostens.ca. You all have the link. And this is for some student, so S student, and then his password. And let's see here. All right, so I'm just on my other screen, making sure I'm following the instructions as I've given them to you guys. I have to do that over here first. Let's see. Should be in preview. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, first thing that you're going to do is go to Create and Image Library. And you're going to, and I see a bunch of you already have, that's awesome. You're going to create a folder for your photos. Oh, sorry, I'm going to go practice pages first, and then plus, and then I'm going to just call this Some Students Summer, and click OK, and there it is. And then I want to upload pictures there, so I click on it. I want to make sure I click on it first before I start uploading, because otherwise they'll just go into a general practice pages place. We don't want that. That's very confusing and not how to do it. So click upload, and then I can drag images into here, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I've already uploaded a bunch of pictures, so I'm just going to go to that other folder. I'm actually just going to delete this one because I don't like things to get clogged up here. And I'm some student. I can't delete it. I'll have to delete it when I go in as myself. So here's all these pictures I've uploaded that I'm going to use for this student. And now let's start on the page. So the second instruction, or third, that's number 3, number 4, your new folder highlighted, number 5, number 6, number 7, go to Create Page Layout. So I'm going to just go straight there from here. Create Page Layout. Layout Pro. Layout Pro. They changed the names this year. And that brought me here, because I was here before. For some of you it might look different, but the main thing is just follow what it says in the instructions. You need to go, do not use this. This is, first page in the yearbook. You need to go to File and New Practice Page, and then I'm just going to call this Some Students Summer, and I'm going to put an apostrophe because I'm an English teacher, and save. And there, okay, now I've got a practice page. It's not part of the actual book, it's just my own page. It's a 2-page spread, which is what it needs to be, and I'm set. I'm ready to start. So that was number 9. And now we're going to the second set of instructions. Here's what you need to do to finish your practice page. Number 1, click Designs in the left column. So I'm going to go over here to Designs, and that's already selected. But if it wasn't, I'd be clicking Designs, and then in Designs it might come up like this, or Practice Pages. It already came up for me, but it's definitely, when you go into Designs, you have to navigate to Custom and then Practice Pages, and that's where you'll find the page if you've already started it. If you haven't started it, so I'm getting ahead of myself here, then you need to go to, what were my instructions? Oh, Student Life and Academics. So you have to go to Page Surfer, and then down to Student Life and Academics. And here you have a whole bunch of pre-made designs, and we're going to be using pre-made designs throughout the year this year. So you want to go into the pre-made designs here and pick a couple that go together. Usually the ones side by side, they are meant to go together. So I'm going to, I just saw one that caught my eye here, this one. So I'm going to pull that page into here. You just drag it in. Okay, this shows up all the time. Do you want to retain existing content? Almost always the answer is no. And I'm going to click Do Not Show again. So there isn't any existing content on the page anyway, but there we go. And I dragged in the other one. Now I'm set to get started on this. Number 2, click on Images tab, left side of the screen. So over here, here's the left side of the screen. I'm going to click on the Images tab. And this will bring up our images. Now this one already went directly to the images. I don't know exactly what it'll look like when you click it, but you're going to probably have to use the drop-down list to find your own images. There's that one I created just before. I'm going to just delete. But here's the one I had already created with a bunch of images. I just threw in a bunch of hiking pictures, mostly from this year, in here for this some student to use. And so there I've got my own set of images. And now I'm going to start placing images into the spread by dragging them into the photo boxes. So this blue thing with a photo icon in it, that's a photo box. There's also text boxes, there's color boxes, but I want to just use these photo boxes for now. So I'm going to start just kind of scan over my pictures, look at the different ones, like, oh, maybe I'll use that as my feature picture. Now what happened there, I just clicked on the picture and it automatically just dropped it in at whatever, some standardized size there. I didn't really want to do that, so I'm just going to, while the pictures, you can see these blue squares around it, that means that that particular box is selected now. I'm just going to right click, delete, or I could just press delete. Oh, that deleted the picture, and now I'm going to delete the box. I don't want that box. So what I wanted to do is grab this picture, so I put the hand on it, hold down, and actually maybe I'll use this one. I just did that again. Let me delete that, and I'm going to use this one for this big one here, me and my girls up at Panorama Ridge. So I've just put a photo in a photo box, and that's just how it's that simple. And so I'm just going to drag a few others in. There's this one, that one up in Brunswick Mountain there, and this one looks kind of vertical, so it looks like it fits there. And there's another kind of vertical-ish one. And there's one that's more landscape. I think I'll throw that one in there. That fits. There's Aurora in the bushes and some snowy place. And anyway, putting the pictures in is quite simple. Just drag them in. Now, say, and I don't think this is in the instructions, but say I was looking at this one and I thought, well, that's a good picture, but I kind of want it to be closer up on the subject, which is me. And so I'm going to double click on the picture, and that kind of shows me where is the picture situated in the box. So I could slide it back and forth, but you see the picture, when you drop the picture in, it automatically kind of puts it into the frame in a way that the AI in the program thinks would work, and that's pretty good. But I want it to be bigger, so how do I do that? In the old program, those of you who were in Yearbook before, you would remember that when we double clicked it, there would be like a little bar that would show up and we could slide the bar. But now it's more like this. You just go like this. Oh, okay, there, that's a lot bigger, but I'm not in the picture, so just drag it, click and drag it, and there is closer up picture. And then I'm just gonna click off of that, and there, it's now I've changed the size of that picture, and you'll notice that it's not like there's a limit to how far you can stretch them based on the pixels in the picture. The program is very good at recognizing if you're going to be pixelating the picture. So yeah, typically as far as you can stretch the picture, that will work. And it will look good on the printed page. So anyway, there's that picture, and So now I've got there's a few. There's actually quite a few different ways you can manipulate photos here, and I didn't put all of them in the instructions here. I want you guys to be able to kind of play around and figure this out. But the idea here with this assignment is that you're showing me you can do some of these basic things, because if you can't do these basic things, well, that would be a problem. So, number 4 says one of your images, remove the background. Again, the way we do this now is different than in years past. This is a new program, Layout Pro. And so you need to click on the image that you want to. I'm going to actually do, I don't know, yeah, that one probably would be okay. So I'm just going to rough this out. Oh, no, actually, let me find another one. I was thinking, oh yeah, that one of Aurora and Foofy. So I'm going to throw, I clicked it 3 times and it showed up here 3 times on my screen. So you got to watch that. So when I click it, just hold down and then drag it in. And I'm going to put that one here. And I'm going to follow the instructions for number 4. So go to Snap Edit. That's this up here. So there's some tools up here you can use. Snap Edit. I'm going to click Snap Edit. And just let me look at my instructions on my other screen. And then, yes, this is what's different here. So right now I'm not using filters, but there's lots of different things you can do with filters here. Anyway, you can play around with that on your own pages where it works. But I'm going to click on Mask. And so on Mask, I have to click Enable Mask, so what I'm doing will show up. And I want to use what's called Eraser. And what I want to do, I'm going to go back to filters. Sorry, I shouldn't have changed this stuff because I don't want to. So I'm just going back to normal. Mask. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to look at here, brush size. I'm going to make the brush size really big. What I think I want to do is just I'm going to take out everything except for Aurora jumping for that snowball. So just to start off with the brush really huge like that, and tolerance is, it doesn't really make a difference when you're doing this background eraser stuff, but anyway, so tolerance you don't really have to change. Oh yeah, and your mask area is transparent. You can also do a picture where you highlight something in color and have the rest background black and white, doing the exact same thing I'm doing here. But here I want to just remove the background. So I'm just going to take the big brush, sorry Foofy, and remove a lot of the back of the picture. And now I'm going to make my brush smaller and pull out some more of the picture here. And I think I'm going to keep this snowball and keep the other snowball, Aurora. And there we go. So I've roughed it in. Now I want to get closer. And so the way to do that is use plus, plus, plus. And it took me a while to figure this out. I actually had to talk to the tech person, because I did this and then I was like, okay, now I'm close up, but how do I get to the rest of it? You have to hold down the space bar. So see, when I press the space bar, it becomes a hand and I can move it. And I can make this even bigger, get right down to the pixel level. I'm just going to rough this in for the sake of time. And this will be actually a really terrible cutout background compared to what you would be doing on a published page. But make my brush a bit smaller and get between Aurora's ears here. On a published page, you definitely would be getting right down to that pixel level and making sure it looked really good. Space, move it, and then let go of the space button. I'm going to make the brush a bit bigger again. Take out some more of it here. And around her nose, I'll get a bit closer. And let's see, space, move. Okay, and I gotta remember to take my hand off the space bar. And there we go. Snowball is disappearing. Make the brush size a bit smaller and get in there close. Or not the snowball, the background of the snowball. Okay, really roughed in there. And move over back to Aurora, take some of the background away from her snout, and I think I have a little bit, oh yeah, a lot more to do down here. Make the brush bigger, and just take out all that background there. In real life, I wouldn't take the background out of this picture because I think that kind of makes the picture. But if I really wanted just to highlight just Aurora jumping up like that, then that's maybe what I do. So now I'm going to go back to, I think this is the button. Oh, I missed the back of her, plus I missed a big thing there. So I'll just quickly take out some more in the back there. Okay, really rough again. Sorry, Aurora. I think that's your back. It's hard to tell. Maybe a little bit more. The fluffy tail, and that's it. So I'm gonna stop doing that now for now. But typically I do it a lot better than that and take a lot more time. But okay. And I'm gonna click save. Don't forget to click save, otherwise all the work you did disappears. Now there she is. The background is transparent, so on this page it would just be white. And so what I want to do now, because I actually want her to be bigger. I don't know if you noticed that I nudged the picture slightly when I tried to grab it. So what I'm going to do is just on Mac anyway, Command Z. Wait, I'm going to go off that, Command Z, and that moves the frame back to exactly where you want it to be. You don't want to move these frames around because they're already situated perfectly for proper design layout for the yearbook. So I'm going to click the picture, double click, yeah, there we go, and then I want to stretch it out like I was showing you guys before and make Aurora kind of in the center, and there we go. So now I've got this white dog on a white background with a white snowball. I want it to pop off the page, so that's the second part of this. This is where are we at here? Once you remove the background, press save. That's letter D, and then letter E, add a drop shadow effect. So you want to go now. I'll select the picture. Okay, so the blue button, blue boxes around it, you know, I've selected it, and then I want to go over here to Format and Effects, and I want to go down to Drop Shadow and Glow, and then I'm going to click on Drop Shadow. And a drop shadow popped up already right away, and you can play around with the drop shadow, which side you want the kind of where's the sun hitting your subject from, and distance, how far is the shadow going to go back, opacity, how dark is the shadow or light, and then blur, the edges of the shadow are blurred. And so I'm not going to spend any more time on that, but that actually is a pretty simple thing to do, especially if you have something with a cutout background, to make that object kind of pop off the screen three-dimensionally. At any time, actually, when you're working on your page, I'm just going to click off that now. If you want to kind of see a bit of a low-res sample, you click this printer button. That's not going to bring you to a print thing, it's just a preview. So you click that, it'll always ask you to save your changes, and that's something you should be doing all along, the clicking this button. And I'm going to click yes, I want to save my changes, and that'll bring me to another screen with again, low resolution but PDF example of what your page is going to look like. And there I can kind of see, oh, okay, I see, I can see the shadow is making Aurora pop off the page, and the snowball, and it's kind of doing what I wanted it to. So you can be checking that as you're working on the book. And again, click save lots. Next thing is number 6. On one of your images, use rounded corners. That's a pretty simple thing. I'm going to take my highlight image here, and the big one, and I'm going to go to Format and Effects, and then I'm just going to round the corners on that one, just because that's what it says to do in the assignment. I don't know that I would particularly on this page for that picture, but anyway, it's what I'm doing right now. And so that's another way you can manipulate your photos. On one of your images, set the transparency to 40%. There's different reasons why you would want to do that. Anyway, I'm just going to pick the picture of the monastery there. That's in Heritage Park near my house. Sunset one day when I was hiking up there. And click that and go to transparency and just drag that to 40%. And I mean, for this page in particular and that image in particular, there's not really a reason to do that, but there are other reasons we'll talk about as we get further into designing the book, where you might want to have a partially transparency in your picture, partial transparency in your picture. There's other things you can do here with glow. There's text wrapping. I'm not going to get into that in this lesson, but these are things you can definitely play around with. And of course, on your page, on your practice page, you have to do all of the things I'm asking you to do. If you want to manipulate some of your other photos in different ways, that's totally fine. But I'm going to be looking for every single one of the things that I asked you to do to be done properly on your practice page. Number 8, on one of your images, add a 2-point stroke. Some of these images already come from the design. They already have a stroke around them. I'm going to grab the picture of Aurora up here in the bush. And then, so this one already comes with a 1-point stroke, so I'm just going to change that to 2 points. It's a little bit thicker. I wouldn't do that from a design perspective unless that was the only one with a stroke around it on the page, or unless I was going to make all of them have the same stroke, the same 2-point stroke. Okay. Now, here's something that's going to be really important. Our yearbook is going to have a very specific color palette and font selection, and the yearbook 12 students are just going to be working on that starting next week. But for now, I've assigned these ones called Bergamo Extra Bold and just Bergamo, AYT, Bergamo, AYT, Bergamo Extra Bold for headline and regular text. So these pre-designed pages, they already come with certain text in them, and in this case it's genuine, but because we're going to work within the parameters of the fonts that we choose for our books, we don't want to have 100 different pages with 100 different fonts. That's not good design. I'm going to have to take each of these and change them. Now, one way I figured that you can do this quite easily to change the whole thing is you can go over here to edit, I think it is, and select, and then you could click select all, but I'm going to click select all text boxes. So now every text box on this page has been selected. Now I'm going to go to the fonts and change all of them to Bergamo. And so that's, okay, so now all those fonts have been changed to the font that we are allowed to use for this page. You see that immediately messed up the headline page, and plus the headline has to be in Bergamo Extra Bold. So anyway, I'm going to just click off of the page to deselect everything. And now over here, those red lines, I've seen that on some of your practice pages already. That means that whatever text you have in there doesn't fit in the box. So the red line pops up to tell you you have an issue here. And so I'm going to go to the one that had the H in it. I'm going to first change it to the extra bold, which will make it even bigger and less likely to fit. But then I'm just going to choose the size here. I'm going to bring it down to, I don't know, 66. Okay, that's a little small. So I'm going to make it 128. That's too big. You can type in a number too. I think you can still do that. Let me see if I'm lying. Yeah, you can still type in a number. So I'm going to change it to 99. There we go, 99. And then the other part of it that's also too big still, I'm going to again change that to extra bold. And then I'm going to change that to 72. Now, it doesn't quite work the way that the designer of this certain page wanted it to, because now it's sitting up instead of down. So there's different things I can do for that. In this case, I think, and yeah, it's working, I'm just going to drag it down just by clicking on the blue button in the middle and then just dragging it down to the line so it's right beside the big H, and just leave it, and that's it. Now the other text has already been changed to AYT Bergamo, so that part of the job is done. But the big part of the job is actually writing in here. And so our yearbook is not just a collection of photos, it's a journalistic record of the school year, and we're going to be working on a lot of journalism stuff this year. So what I want you to do, I'm going to go here. Now I'm looking at this, and I haven't placed all my pictures yet, etc. But I'm thinking, okay, I want to type a caption. Each one should have a caption, and so I'm going to basically say where this is Mount Brunswick and the North Shore Mountains. So I want to type that, but for me it's kind of hard to see. So, oh yeah, no, this one I got to pause on because I don't remember. They changed the way that we increase and oh, it's up here. So here I can just increase the page size until I can read it, no problem. That's a little bigger than I actually need. And I'm just going to go in here. It's already in Bergamo, and I'm going to put, I think it's Mount Brunswick, North Shore. Now that doesn't quite fit, so I'm going to change the size of it from 10 down to 8, and that fits now, and that's fine. And it's, so now I'm going to go back to minus, minus, minus to kind of be able to see the whole thing on the page, or most of it. Oh, and there's also a drop down there. Okay, good. And so I'll be writing my story about my summer over here in this particular layout. I'm going to have captions on each of my photos, and you need to place something in each of those photo boxes. If, for example, you had an idea where you like this design, but you've got this big panorama picture that you want to show, and it would fit really well in these two boxes. Well, within the parameters of the design, you can make some changes. So if I wanted to do that, if I wanted to put in this big wide pano shot here, I can take this box, select it, and just press. I'll just do it on here so you can see on the screen. Just delete it. Okay, so that box is gone. And then there's also a caption box underneath it, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to delete it, and then I'm going to just take this box and use the center box here and just stretch it out right to the edge. And I'm gonna get up close on it because I don't want to. Everything has to be perfect, so you need it to line up perfectly with the boxes below it. And there we have a completely straight, crisp line. That's very important in design. And so now I have this big box. Now my only other problem is the caption. It's just centered over here on the left. So I can do the exact same thing with that. Just stretch that caption box out to the other side, and then when I do my caption under this panorama picture, it will be it'll be right there. And then I don't know, I'll pick maybe I'll just throw this one in here and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's kind of cool panorama picture. And in my text box here, I'll just put this is Mount Crickmer, highest summit. Oh, I shouldn't capitalize that. Highest summit in Mission, BC. Okay, here we go. Next instruction. That's all about the text. I've showed you how to change all the text. Now I have color boxes on here. Let me go back to 100%. We're actually 75% for this screen. I can see everything. Oh, I clicked that. Again, the box showed up there. Just delete it, and it's gone. And so my colors on the page are going to have to match the palette that we pick for the book. So right now we're just using summer just as an example because we're doing this summer thing. So first of all, I'm going to look at the, that's the text. So that's the text box. And I need to actually close up more on this so I can actually select what I want. Let me start with that box. So that, I've selected the color box in the background or the text box. That's the, oh, now I'm in the text. Just a minute. Select off of that, select on that. I'm going to go up here to, no, that's text because all the text stuff has come up. Unless the background, nope. Let's see. So I'm learning some of this stuff right in front of you here. Arrange. I'm going to send to back. Okay. So what I've done is I've sent the text to the back so that I can select this color box, and then I'll bring it back forward in a minute. And so I'm going to go up to the color here, and this is not from the summer palette. This was from the whatever the designer's palette was. So I have to use the summer palette. So I'm going to just stick with the green kind of theme here and put this kind of, no, I'm not using that one. I'll put this nice forest green in there. And then I need to arrange that so the box is behind the text again. So I'm clicking, I've got the box selected, I go over here to arrange, and I'm going to go send to back, and there's the text again. This colored text is some sort of brown, and I want it to be within my summer palette. So again, up here I've got text, the box selected for that H. I'm going to go to the color palette up here and go down here, and I'm going to pick kind of a summery, oh no, because I didn't select it, there we go, summery kind of orangish yellow, whatever. And then I'm going to click this text box and do the same thing. I have to select the text within it to change the color of it, and I'm going to use that same color. Maybe I'm going to use the same color. There we go. So headline, and actually maybe I should change that to S, and some student, and now that, because I did that, I'm going to have to change the size of the font to make it fit. I go down to 54, and I want it to be on that line, so I'm going to click there and oops, and drag it down. And I'm getting a red line under OME because it's automatically spell checking, but it's because it doesn't recognize the S as being part of the word. And then I want to move this box over to be closer, move it down a little bit more to line up excuse me, with the bottom of the big S, and that's fine, good enough for now. And then over here I'm going to click on this box, and I'm going to change that to that same green up here, color and green. And then the outer box, I'll probably have to do the same thing of dropping stuff behind so that I can get the box, like select the box that I want. Oh, this is actually the outer part of this box. I'm trying to, okay, sometimes it's hard to select what you want. Okay, I've got that same box. See, there's the green color. I could make it yellow. No, I'll just use this green color. And then I have a stroke too. So that's in the foreground is like the center of the box. And if I wanted there to be no color, I would just go transparent, and there was just white background then. But I'm going to keep the color as the theme had that color. And then for the stroke, to bring that to the forefront, wait, is that working? Oh, I see right here it's a little different. So here's the fill, and here's the stroke. So I'm going to click stroke, and I'm going to use the terrible lime green color. Actually, no, I'm going to use the same color I use for the, oh, I'm really messing it up now. For the fill, I want the green, I'll click here again, and then for the stroke, I'm going to use this yellow color. And there we go. And I can change the color of this letter A as well. I'll make that to the yellow color, I guess, sure. And I might have to manipulate that a little bit, make it smaller, so that it fits with the rest of the text. The text itself, I might want it to look just like that, and I obviously haven't typed it. It's just filled with these Latin things right now, but as I type it out, I might decide, well, yeah, I like the just having it the margin just to the left, or I might want to what they call justify it, so that would be this one, and that makes the text look a little bit more kind of column like in a newspaper or a magazine. And yeah, I'll have to deal with that A letter later, but I'm not going to do it now. Other things here, you have a spell check. Again, I haven't really checked this one out yet. Oh, spell check, where is it? I don't know yet. Option, text transform. See, some of these are very new to me even. Anyway, oh, ABC. So spell check's up here, and so I'm going to click that. And okay, so it's scanning the whole page. Mount Crickmer is not showing up, so it says to change it to Cricket or something. Well, obviously I don't want to do that, so I wonder if there's different options. No, oh yeah, change all, that's good. Ignore all. So if I had Mount Crickmer in several places, I would want to click ignore all so that it shows up, and then OME, I'm going to ignore that, and etc. So you always want to use your spell check, please. You can't have any spelling errors, not in people's names, not in anything in a published book. That's not acceptable. Okay, keep saving, etc. Now I'm going to show you guys the last thing that I put in red, super important. So I'm going to save this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually log out. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go do something else with my life now. Now I'm back, and I'm going to log back in to keep working on my book. So I put in my job number, I put in my student's username, I put in my super secret password, and let's go. Okay, now how do I get back to my page? And I've seen some people already have multiple pages with their names on them. So you have to do this every time. So I need to go to Create, and I need to go to Layout Pro. Now that brings me to the first page of the yearbook. I do not want you to work on that page, please. You have not been assigned it. So you need to go to over here in designs, sorry, in pages, you need to click on, nope, in designs, yeah, okay. So go to designs, and then you need to go up to the top, custom, practice pages. Now, I'm just going to try this because I'm just logged in as a student. So say I wanted to edit Amy's page. I don't think I should be able to. Dang, I can? Well, I'm not sure why. Cancel. Don't edit anyone else's page, so go to your own, and some student summer. There it is. So that's the page I was working on. Click on click on edit, and that brings you back to your page. Now you can keep working on it, keep saving, etc. Don't start a new page, okay? And that's the way you access this first assignment. The assignment is due soon, and I'm not going to say a date because I might use this screen recording next year, but it has to be done by that date. There's no late assignments in Yearbook. So thank you for watching, and good luck.